There was a point in my journey where I realized something I had been avoiding for years. Not because it was painful, but because admitting it felt like stepping into a truth I wasn't sure I was allowed to hold. I wasn't disconnected from spirituality. I was disconnected from belonging to it. I wasn't cut off from guidance. I was convinced it wasn't meant for me. I wasn't lacking intuition. I was doubting my right to trust it. It didn't feel dramatic. It didn't feel mystical. It felt older, like a quiet inheritance passed down through the ones that came before me. Knowing is dangerous. Connection is for the chosen. Trusting yourself will cost you. A lineage of people who learned to survive by dimming what they knew. A lineage of people who learned to stay safe by staying small. A lineage of people who were taught that spiritual connection was something earned, not something inherent. And one day, something in me shifted. Not loudly, not suddenly, but with a clarity I could no longer ignore. I'm not disconnected. I'm remembering. The Crown Chakra, SAHASRARA, the center of divine connection, inner wisdom, and spiritual belonging. The place where doubt dissolves, where guidance becomes familiar, where you stop reaching outward and start returning inward. I'm Kaththea. Welcome to Ascended Spirit Amplifiers. If you're drawn to connection, remembrance, and the kind of knowing that rises from within, settle in. Let's begin. Why I created this melt. I didn't create this melt because I wanted enlightenment. I created it because I needed belonging. I needed to stop standing at the edge of my own spiritual life like a visitor. I needed to stop treating guidance like something I had to earn. I needed to stop assuming that connection was reserved for people who were more disciplined, more devoted, more spiritual than me. The Crown Chakra is the center of divine connection, inner wisdom, and spiritual remembrance. When it's blocked, you feel like an outsider in your own life. When it opens, you remember that you were never outside anything. You were always a part of it. There were moments where I felt guidance so clearly it felt like a memory, and still, I questioned whether it was real. There were moments where I sensed truth before I understood it, and still, I dismissed it as coincidence. There were moments where I felt connected, deeply, unmistakably, and still, I convinced myself it wasn't meant for me. This blend is not about ascending into something new. It's about returning to something ancient. It's about remembering the connection you were born with, the one that doubt, fear, and lineage taught you to forget. This melt is a reminder that spiritual connection is not a privilege. It's a birthright. Why these stones chose me. I didn't choose these stones because of what they symbolize. I chose them because of what my body did when I held them. Amethyst didn't make me feel enlightened. It made me feel quiet. The kind of quiet where truth rises without effort. It softened the noise, the doubt, the internal static that made guidance feel far away. Clear quartz didn't make me feel powerful. It made me feel clear. Like the fog I had been living in wasn't mine. Like my spirit had been waiting for me to stop second guessing what I already knew. Selenite didn't make me feel connected to something higher. It made me feel connected to myself, to the part of me that had always been listening, always been sensing, always been receiving, even when I wasn't ready to trust it. These stones didn't give me connection. They reminded me that I never lost it. They didn't open my crown. They help me remember the part of me that was never closed. They didn't create guidance. They cleared the space for me to finally hear it. Crown Chakra Wax Melt. Ingredient lineage. Beeswax, the keeper of sacred light. Beeswax has always been a vessel for the unseen. Warm, steady, and ancient. Across lineages, it carries prayers, guided rituals, and held the flame that illuminated truth. In Crown Chakra work, beeswax becomes the foundation of remembrance, a steady light that cuts through doubt, softens fear, and anchors you in connection. It teaches the crown that guidance doesn't arrive through force. It rises through clarity. Amethyst, the quiet knowing. Amethyst is not dramatic. It doesn't shout. It doesn't overwhelm. It simply clears the noise long enough for truth to surface. This stone dissolves mental static, softens overthinking, and creates the internal stillness where guidance becomes recognizable. Amethyst teaches the crown that knowing is not loud. It's familiar. Clear quartz, the amplifier of truth. Clear quartz sharpens intention, magnifies clarity, and reveals what was always there. It doesn't create connection. It illuminates it. It brings light to the places where doubt once lived and strengthens the channel between intuition and understanding. Quartz teaches the crown that truth doesn't hide. It waits for you to stop doubting it. Selenite, the channel of purity. Selenite is the bridge, the quiet, milky white column of connection. It clears energetic residue, dissolves spiritual interference, and opens the pathway between you and your higher knowing. This stone doesn't push you upward. It clears the space for you to rise. Selenite teaches the crown that connection is not earned, it's remembered. Jasmine buds, the breath of devotion. Jasmine carries the energy of surrender, the soft opening that allows guidance to land. It awakens the inner senses, deepens spiritual receptivity, and brings a gentle devotion to the crown. Jasmine teaches the crown that connection is not performance, it's a softening. Lotus plumules, the bloom of ascension. Lotus is the symbol of rising, not away from the world, but through it. Its lineage is one of clarity, awakening, and spiritual elevation. Lotus plumules carry the frequency of enlightenment without ego, the quiet unfolding of truth from within. They teach the crown that ascension is not escape, it's remembrance. Figs, the ancient sweetness. Fig is one of the oldest fruits in human history, a symbol of wisdom, nourishment, and spiritual insight. It carries the memory of temples, rituals, and seekers who trusted their inner knowing long before language existed for it. Fig teaches the crown that wisdom is not new, it's ancient, and it lives in you. Helichrysum blooms, the immortal light. Helichrysum, the flower that never fades. Its lineage is one of healing, resilience, and golden illumination. It clears ancestral residue, softens inherited fear, and brings warmth to the places where spiritual disconnection once lived. Helichrysum teaches the crown that your connection cannot die, it can only be forgotten. Lavender essential oil, the softening of the mind. Lavender quiets the mental tension that keeps guidance from rising. It calms the nervous system, softens overthinking, and creates space for clarity to emerge. Lavender teaches the crown that connection doesn't come from effort, it comes from ease. Frankincense essential oil, the bridge between worlds. Frankincense is the scent of prayer, devotion, and spiritual grounding. It steadies the spirit, deepens presence, and strengthens the channel between intuition and understanding. Frankincense teaches the crown that guidance is not abstract, it's embodied. Lotus essential oil, the crown's pure frequency. Lotus is the essence of awakening, the unfolding of truth from the inside out. It carries the vibration of spiritual clarity, inner elevation, and divine remembrance. Lotus teaches the crown that enlightenment is not something you reach, it's something you return to. Why they work together. This melt is built like a remembering. The beeswax holds the light, the steady flame that cuts through doubt. The stones clear the noise, sharpening truth, softening fear, opening the channel. The botanicals awaken the senses, devotion, ascension, ancient sweetness, and immortal light. The oils soften the mind, steady the spirit, and elevate the crown into clarity. Each ingredient carries its own lineage, its own teaching, its own frequency, but together they create something deeper, a space where guidance becomes familiar, a space where connection stops feeling distant, a space where you stop reaching outward and start returning inward, a space where the crown doesn't have to open, it simply remembers. This blend doesn't force awakening, it supports it, it steadies it, it clears the path for it. The ingredients work together because they speak the same language, the language of clarity, belonging, and spiritual remembrance. They don't pull you upward, they bring you back to yourself. The power of making your own tools. Making your own tools isn't just spiritual, it's sovereign. When you create something with your own hands, your own breath, your own intention, you stop waiting for connections to come from outside you. You stop looking for signs that someone else is more qualified, more chosen, more connected than you. You stop treating guidance like something you have to earn or pay for. Every ingredient you touch, every stir of the wax, every stone you place with intention, it all becomes a quiet declaration. I am allowed to know. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to connect. Your tools don't have to look like mine. They don't have to be perfect. They only have to feel like you. This is where your crown begins. Not in the wax, but in the moment you decide to trust your own connection. Crown Chakra Wax Melt. The creation process. You will need the following to create your own Crown Chakra Wax Melt. 12 ounces of beeswax pellets, 2 tablespoons of organic unrefined virgin coconut oil, 60 drops lavender essential oil, 80 drops frankincense essential oil, and 100 drops of lotus essential oil. 6 teaspoons each, amethyst, clear quartz, and selenite in small pieces, 6 teaspoons of jasmine buds, 6 teaspoons of lotus plumules, 18 to 24 dried fig slices, and 6 helichrysum blooms. All the tools and ingredients I'm using are linked in the description box for anyone who wants them. No sponsorships, and still no matrix contracts. Just sharing what actually works for me. The cookie sheets and jars, those are my Dollar Tree treasures. This recipe makes 6 large melts that can be cut into quarters for extended use. Step 1. Prepare your workspace, where connection begins. Set up your candle wax warmer or hot plate in a well-ventilated area. Lay out your pot, stirrer, thermometer, and molds. Gather your gemstones and botanicals and pre-measure your essential oils in a small bowl. This is where your intention begins. not in the wax, but in your presence. The crown doesn't open through effort. It opens through attention. Step 2. Melt the beeswax, the flame of remembrance. Add 12 ounces of pure beeswax to your pot and melt it over low to medium heat, around 145 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Beeswax melts slowly on purpose. It teaches you to move with steadiness, not urgency. Stir gently as it liquefies, letting the golden wax mirror the clarity and warmth you're calling back into your spiritual life. Keep the temperature steady, never above 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Too much heat can burn the wax, dull the oils, and scorch the botanicals. Connection doesn't come from rushing. It comes from staying present. Step 3. Add the coconut oil, softening the structure. Once the melted beeswax reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit, remove it from the heat and add 2 tablespoons of organic coconut oil. This softens the final melt, helps it release from the mold, and improves scent diffusion. It's the reminder that spiritual structure doesn't have to be rigid. Your connection can be steady and soft at the same time. Step 4. Infuse the essential oils, breath of the connection. Stir and allow the wax to cool to 135 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature where essential oils stay potent and alive. Then add your pre-measured 60 drops lavender, 80 drops frankincense, and 100 drops lotus essential oil. Stir slowly, letting the scent become calming, elevating, and deeply centering. A breath that says, I'm allowed to know, I'm allowed to receive, I'm allowed to connect. This is where the melt begins to shift from ingredients to intention. Step 5. Prepare the molds. Build the crown's altar. Before pouring, prepare each mold like a tiny altar. Into each cavity add 1 teaspoon each of amethyst, clear quartz, and selenite, the triad of clarity and connection. As you see, I cut small selenite bars into pieces to form a crown. 1 teaspoon of jasmine buds for devotion and spiritual receptivity. 1 teaspoon of lotus plumules for ascension and remembrance. 3 to 4 dried fig slices for ancient wisdom and nourishment. And 1 helichrysum bloom for immortal light and ancestral healing. These botanicals and stones don't just decorate. They anchor the melt in clarity, connection, and spiritual belonging. This is where the melt becomes a tool, not because of what it looks like, but because of what you're placing into it. Step 6. Pour the wax, the first layer of knowing. Pour a thin layer of wax into each mold first. This helps the botanicals settle and prevents floating. Let it thicken for a minute. Not fully set, just enough to hold. This first layer is like the first moment of remembering. Subtle, quiet, but strong enough to support what comes next. Step 7. Add the remaining wax. Let connection take its shape. Once the first layer grips the botanicals and gemstones, pour the remaining wax slowly over the top, like clarity filling a space that forgot it was connected. Pour with intention, knowing this tool is being built to hold your connection, not replace it. This is where the melt becomes whole, where the ingredients become a vessel, where your intention becomes form. Step 8. Let them set. Do not rush the crown. Allow the melts to cool and solidify naturally. No freezer, no fridge, no rushing. The crown chakra opens in stillness, patience, and trust. Let the melts honor that. Once fully cooled, remove them from the molds and store them in an airtight container. They're ready for your next crown chakra activation, your next moment of choosing remembrance over doubt, connection over disconnection, and belonging over separation. Before we move into the meditation, I want to remind you of something essential, something that carries a different weight here than anywhere else in this series. Meditation, especially crown chakra energy work, is deeply personal. No one can tell you how your connection should feel. No one can tell you what guidance should sound like. No one can tell you how your crown should open. No one can tell you what spiritual is supposed to look like in your body. Your connection has its own rhythm. Your intuition has its own language. Your knowing has its own way of rising. Some people feel warmth. Some people feel pressure. Some feel nothing at all. And that is still a response. The crown doesn't open through force. It doesn't open through visualization. It doesn't open because someone tells you it should. It opens when you stop trying to reach upward and start allowing yourself to return inward. I always encourage you to move from your own inner command, not from my voice, not from anyone else's expectations, not from what you think connection is supposed to be. Take what resonates, leave what does not. Follow what feels true in your body. Your meditation doesn't have to be vivid to be real. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be powerful. It doesn't have to be mystical to be meaningful. It only has to be yours. This is your connection, your guidance, your return to belonging in this present moment. Crown Chakra Meditation. Return to belonging. Before you rise, you remember. Before you connect, you soften. Before you receive, you return. Settle into your space, not to escape, but to come back to yourself. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath slow. Let your awareness drift from your mind into your body, into the quiet center at the top of your head, the home of your crown chakra. If it aligns with your practice, place one hand gently over your heart and the other over your crown. Feel the warmth of your palms. Feel the subtle movement beneath your hands. Feel the quiet truth gathering. Not loudly, not urgently, just honestly. You're not trying to force anything. You're letting yourself be. On your inhale, imagine drawing breath up the spine, through the heart, through the throat, into the crown. On your exhale, let the tension you've been carrying begin to loosen, not disappear, just loosen. Now, imagine a soft, luminous, violet-white glow at the top of your head. Not bright, not overwhelming, just present, like a truth you've been circling for years. This is your crown chakra, the part of you that remembers connection, remembers guidance, remembers belonging. Let that glow warm. Let it expand gently. Let it move like breath, slow, steady, natural. You might feel warmth. You might feel pressure. You might feel a subtle pulsing. You might feel nothing at all. And that is still a response. The crown speaks in remembrance, not spectacle. If it resonates, speak softly in your mind or out loud. I am allowed to know. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to connect. I return to belonging. Let the words settle into your crown like warm light. Now imagine the violet-white glow expanding, not upward, but inward, filling the places where doubt once lived, softening the places where you questioned your own guidance, warming the places that forgot they were connected. Let it move into your temples, easing old tension. Let it move into your forehead, clearing old fog. Let it move into your mind, quieting the noise that kept you from hearing yourself. Let it move into your breath, reminding your body that connection is safe here. You are not forcing awakening. You are remembering it. If emotions rise, let them. If memories surface, honor them. If nothing happens, trust that your crown is still listening. Your connection moves in its own time. Now imagine the glow rippling outward, touching your past with understanding, your presence with clarity, your future with trust. Let it extend to the moments you doubted your intuition. Let it extend to the moments you dismissed your knowing. Let it extend to the moments you felt connection but convinced yourself it wasn't meant for you. Let it extend to the version of you who learned to disconnect to survive. Let it extend to the version of you who is ready to belong again. Stay here for as long as your body asks. When you feel complete, place one hand over your heart and one hand over your crown, connecting the place where you feel with the place where you know. Whisper, gratitude. I return to belonging. I return to myself. Then slowly return to the room. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your shoulders. Let your awareness rise gently, carrying the connection with you. You're not leaving your crown behind. You're walking with it. Thanks for watching. If something in this video resonated with you, honoring that with a like helps this work find the people who are meant to see it. And I'd love to hear your reflections in the comments. It's always beautiful to see how these messages land for different people. And by all means, share it with anyone you think might benefit. If you want to keep exploring with me, make sure you're subscribed. I share new videos every week, and each one builds on this journey in its own way. Please never forget, my intent is your ascent. See you next time.